Spotlight. I'm Vanessa Ibarra, and sitting next to me today is Surrey-born, now Vancouver native, singer Adam Robert Thomas, whose sound has been described as soulful, melodic, funky, and overall feel-good. His first self-titled CD was released last year and received glowing reviews, spending 12 weeks in the top 50 of R&B and soul music charts for Roots Music Report. First of all, thanks for joining us on the show, Adam.
Thank you for having me, Vanessa.
Yeah, great to have you. Thanks for coming all the way south of the Fraser.
Oh, it's great.
First, we'll just talk about your discovery of music. You said from a young age you were attracted to the chemistry of bands. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, I've always loved and seen how musicians that are playing together are enjoying themselves, and you can even feel it. Like there's certain records where you can feel the chemistry of the band, and sometimes it's like a negative thing. Like there's this tension, like with the Police, where there's always this tension between Sting and Stuart Copeland. But it works. It makes the music work. It gives it an edge,
Got to get you.
You said you grew up in a house where, like many people we have in the show, like music was a huge part.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. You started playing trumpet, which was amazing. I don't think I was doing this at 8. You learned the trumpet. Tell us your music history from there. Where'd it go?
The trumpet was inspired by a Chuck Mangione record that we grew up vinyl. We had a bunch of different vinyl, and then my next instrument was ukulele in the public school system in Langley, actually. And then from there, picked up drums, upright bass. I went and saw a live show, and I saw a bass player. And again, it was the chemistry thing. I saw the bass player just smile at the drummer, and I thought, that's what I want to do. So I was playing upright bass and playing straight ahead jazz at that time. And when I switched to playing guitar, it was to play in hotels and bars and things like that. And so it was more like, I got to play music that more people like, because jazz is amazing, but it's very much a niche music.
Yes, yeah.
So I started learning more pop music and going back to pop music that I had already heard, but I hadn't worked on performing, and I started working on performing that. And then I bought an electric guitar, and I think the day I bought my electric guitar, I started playing gigs on it, and since then the acoustic guitar has never come out of the box.
I never knew the art of making love.
You were so talented. It's pretty impressive, the amount of instruments you play, but also you were nominated for a Juno for your work with the Dan Brubeck Quartet.
Yes.
Congratulations for a vocal jazz album. So what is it about, classic soul R&B that you continue to connect with, that you choose this over, say, other types of music?
One of my mentors in Vancouver, Kate Hammett Vaughan, she introduced me to Ray Charles when I was maybe 19, 18 years old. When I heard that music, I was like, my music, it just resonated with me. I loved it. And I learned since that point, a lot of the people who played that music, who recorded that music, a lot of the musicians came out of playing jazz. The jazz musicians were the ones making a lot of the records as the musicians, as the backing musicians, because they could improvise, they could read, they had great time feel. I really have always loved the vocals of classic soul and R&B.
In the world that you could feel fine, I'm about the freight train. Yeah.
On your song on your first album, Freight Train, the video you released recently with Muppets.
Yes.
Dancing away and playing on the keyboard. You're also dancing with them.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration behind the song, but also the video?
Well, a lot of the album was, I have 3 kids, and they're amazing. My oldest is now 11, my youngest is 4. And we have like family dance parties and things like that. And we have since they were young. And I wanted to do something that was fun and felt good. And when I was talking with my friend Greg Gillespie, who really was the mastermind behind the video, and the thought of having a doppelganger puppet, we thought it's hilarious. It has nostalgia because of Sesame Street. It's something that's fun. It's meant to be light.
And reach another demographic at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
When you went into writing this album, what was your thought process for the variety of songs you wanted, the tone? Just talk us through that.
I wanted the songs to all be radio friendly. Depending on the station, not every station is going to play it, of course, but if you have a 3.5 minute or a 4 minute song, it can be played on radio. But if they're 11-minute songs, there's not too many Anagata Davidas that get played, I really wanted everything to feel good and be fun.
That's definitely the tone you get. Listen to it.
Oh, good.
What's really cool is, like I said, your range. Can you give us a little demonstration of your range? Because that falsetto on, I think, My Love, you had a high note for that. Freight Train also.
Yeah.
Can you do a little demonstration for us? Only on falsetto.
Let's see. What do I do? I was
Freight Train's
saying,
kind of cool. You really did that.
Some of the backgrounds and vocals and stuff, I would sing all my low notes. And with Freight Train, I was like, get on board in Detroit, it's New Orleans, which is kind of like hovering up in the top chest voice and the head voice, and then do things like, getting up into the head voice. And there's one or two like verging on whistle tones, and they're not quite in like Hey Sugar, where a little higher. But I got to study with a fellow in Nashville who vocal coaches people like Taylor Swift. It was very empowering. Like my range when I started writing for the album and when I actually recorded my vocals probably increased by at least an octave.
I'm sure your wife appreciated all that practicing at home. Cats clear everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something happening here. Don't know what it is, but the air is clear. Feel good, got something to say. Ain't no trouble, can't get in my way.
You've been immersed in the music scene. You're 42 years old for a few years now, kind of thing. What's the biggest challenge, though, in today's music scene of just right now you're doing local venues, that kind of thing, festivals, but to make it to the next level, like how difficult is it with YouTube now and all the online platforms for so many people out there, I would think?
I noticed when I went to the 2016 Junos when I was nominated, and what I noticed from people's speeches was that everybody's really thanking a team. And it's not just jive. It really is like somebody like The Weeknd is not as successful as he is because he's a one-man show. It's because he has a huge team of really each person who's doing key stuff on his team is really good at what they do. And it enables him to focus on his music and the performance. But I think also in this process with this album, I've seen so much that you need to work on as a performer. Like you can have a great album, but if you're kind of boring to watch, that people aren't going to watch it. But if you're a fun entertainer and put on a great show, that's probably going to have more pull.
Feel good, got something to say. Ain't no trouble, can't get in my way.
Is that more the last few years because of the more ADD of, we're saying our society of making it that much more exciting as a performer?
Maybe. I think, maybe. I think that people, if you go back and you look at all the really broadly successful acts and you can watch video footage of them, they're pretty much all really engaging. People are willing to pay $5,000 a person to go see Kiss to get prime seats and box seats and VIP meeting. People are willing to pay for an experience. So if you can't give them an experience, why then
they can just listen at home.
Yeah, they can listen at home.
I'm about the freight train.
this summer, you have tons of shows coming up. Playing at Frankie's in Vancouver, June 14th. Water Street Cafe, one of my favorites there, June 26th. And then Guilt & Co., your band, is playing July 1st.
Yeah.
So aside from that, though, what's next for you? You've got your first CD, and what's on the horizon?
Ooh, what's on the horizon? Well, since I wrote and released the CD, I've been sort of developing my live band. So that's been fun because I've been developing how we play together as a band. I think kind of the next sort of things on the list really is what's the kind of the next album coming out, or what's the next songs coming out. Enjoying playing and kind of enjoying with my kids, and that's a lot of time and energy too with them,
sure.
and I love it. I love being a dad. So yeah, that's about it.
Nice. That keeps you busy. Yeah.
Keeps me busy.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I love your music. We do look forward to when years from now, I'm sure, whenever the next CD comes out, be just as great. And listen to My Love, everyone, okay? Have some Kleenex ready. Thanks so much for joining me, Adam.
Thank you so much, Vanessa.
There's something happening here. Don't know what it is, but the air is clear. Feel good, got something